Welcome to Beyond the Coverage. I'm Chris Horner. Welcome to Tactician Tuesday. I know it's a Wednesday, but hey, you got to hit the like and subscribe button and have more of your friends hit the like and subscribe button if I have to dedicate every Tuesday. Now, I was busy yesterday. I had a lot of Cycling Foundation work to do, catching up on cleaning some bikes. Had a mountain bike ride with all my buddies yesterday in Bend, Oregon, so I was busy. So we're doing Tactician Tuesday on a Wednesday. What do I want to talk about with the Tactician? Well, we got to go back to the men's and women's Road World Championships because I want to discuss what the pro teams over there are really lacking. They don't have what the NFL have on every Tuesday. NFL usually finish playing games on Sunday. I know they've got Monday night too, but normally it's on Sunday. The NFL riders get Monday off. And then Tuesdays when they come back into the headquarters and they review videos and they start looking over what went wrong, what went right, and everything in between. So that's Tactician Tuesday up here on Beyond the Coverage, but we're doing it on Wednesday. Now, if we go into the women's race, and we're talking Demi Vollering with Team Netherlands, it was a knucklehead show. It was spectacular. You know I love knuckleheads. It means the racing was exciting, unpredictable. People throwing cards left and right all over the place with attacks and counterattacks and just doing knucklehead maneuvers that weren't predictable from the Chesterfield. So what did Demi Vollering and the Netherlands do wrong? Well, first off, let's back it up a little bit to 2023 at the Vuelta a España, when Demi Vollering was taking a nature break on stage 6. Then she gets attacked up there from Annemiek van Vleuten from Movistar. She's throwing in, going 100% at the front, blowing things up, while Demi Vollering was doing a nature break, and Demi Vollering's SD teammate was in the front group, while Demi Vollering's chasing the whole time trying to come back, her teammate's sitting in the front. So if I do Tactician Tuesday from last year's 23 Vuelta a España, there Demi Vollering lost the Vuelta a España on the next stage that she won, but still lost the general classification by only 9 seconds and lost the Vuelta a España because she left her teammate up in that front group and her teammate didn't drop back from her. Tactic 101. If you're wearing the race leader's red, yellow, or pink jersey, or any color in any race that's a stage race, and your race leader is dropped from the front group and she's not sick, and you know she's got good form, you go back for her every time you send the whole team. Maybe you send the teammate back before the climb. Maybe you have a teammate wait to the top of one of the middle climbs and Demi Vollering comes up and then your teammate pulls through the valley, gets her back up to the front group, and Demi Vollering wins the 23 Vuelta a España. Easy peasy, nice and squeezy. So easy that it's ridiculous that it didn't happen at the 23 Vuelta a España. We fast forward and we go into the last year's Glasgow Road World Championships. Gets a little bit more complicated there. It's Elise Shabby from Switzerland that's going up the road. It's a small chase group in the back with Demi Vollering and Annemiek van Vleuten, who now are both teammates because they're riding for the Netherlands. And they're pulling Lotte Kopecky around. Lotte Kopecky on last year's Glasgow Road World Championships was on marvelous form. At that moment, you do not pull Lotte Kopecky around. You attack Lotte Kopecky or you make her get on the front and pull somehow. Most likely, she's not going to pull 2 women from the Netherlands around in that chase group behind, so you got to attack her. You got to go up the road and assume that either Annemiek van Vleuten or Demi Vollering can bridge the gap up there to the Switzerland rider, and those two can put Lotte Kopecky on the front chasing them, while the second rider from the Netherlands, be it Annemiek van Vleuten or Demi Vollering, whoever didn't get away from her, is getting a free ride sitting on the wheel. Once Lotte Kopecky catches, I would assume she would have, but if she doesn't, then those two fight it out for the win up front. And if she does, the second woman from the Netherlands rider there attacks, and she goes solo, and Lotte Kopecky's still on the front. Then all of a sudden, maybe at last year's Glasgow Road World Championships, Team Netherlands have a shot, a legitimate nice shot of winning gold there and taking the rainbow jersey. Okay, they lost there too. Fast forward into 24, we go in the Tour de France. Remember the Tour de France when Demi Vollering's wearing the race leader's yellow jersey and she crashes? She crashes while wearing the race leader's yellow jersey, and her 2 teammates stay in the front group with her teammate up there even winning the stage. And then Lorena Wiebes winning in the second group to round out top 10s up there. But they lost the race leader's yellow jersey on that stage. Then we fast forward into Alpe d'Huez. Demi Vollering's attacking from the penultimate climb, going up and over and down through the valley the whole time while she's getting chased behind from 4 or 5 different women all working together at different times to come into Alpe d'Huez. where of course Demi Vollering comes up just a little bit short, and then this time she loses the Tour de France by 4 seconds at this year's 24 Tour de France. So Demi Vollering needs a little bit of Tactician Tuesday working. Well, that's what we're here to do. So now we go into the Road World Championships. What did Demi Vollering do wrong there? Well, the only thing I can come up with is the plan with Team Netherlands coming into that race on Saturday was to come in there and put someone in the break. I got to assume the director sportif said, we want a satellite rider up in the break, and then we want to bring Demi Vollering across to that. That doesn't work when you do it the way Team Netherlands did. Many times throughout that race, especially when we're talking two laps to go, we're seeing 2 riders in a group of 4. You got Rihanna Marcus up there, and you have Marianne Vos, one of the greatest female cyclists in the history of the sport, is up there in a 4-rider group. 2 riders from Netherlands, that is. Behind, you see the Netherlands chasing like crazy for Demi Vollering. Now, what I could only assume the plan was we put a satellite rider in there, but you cannot put a satellite rider in the break and drive the break. It's ridiculous. I'll show you one picture where we're talking about coming into about 32 kilometers to go. We have one tacking from the Netherlands in the break up there, and we got the Netherlands pulling in the peloton back there trying to bring it all together. You're wasting energy all over the place. That was ridiculous tactics. We come into the final lap with its 27 kilometers to go. They start to climb right after the start-finish line after that tricky technical section because it's wet and slippery. We still have the 4 ladies up front. Then we got Demi Vollering attacking back there, blowing everything up just to catch Marianne Vos and Rihanna Marcus up there and send them straight out the back as she's driving the front. She loses the Road World Championships for Team Netherlands for the 2nd time in a row because Lotte Kopecky, okay, maybe she could have won last year. She was on fantastic form. Even the butterfly effect couldn't tell you 100% whether or not if she wins or loses. But it would have been more complicated if Team Netherlands didn't pull her around last year. And it would have been better if Demi Vollering had used her teammates wisely. How would she use her teammates wisely on the Road World Championships here in 2024? Put them on the front. When the attacks are going, you follow the attacks. You do not make the attacks. You follow the attacks. You get 1 rider in there. If they can get in easily, you put 1 rider in there. If they don't get in, no big deal. You have the strongest women's professional team right here at the Road World Championships. You ride them on the front, just like we saw in Montreal with Tadej Pogacar's UAE Team Emirates. You get Tadej Pogacar close to the finish. In this instance, you get Demi Vollering close to the finish, but you had the women on the front driving it from Netherlands as hard as they could. Maybe you had one up in the break because she just followed a move real nice and easy and her legs are still fresh, but you don't have 2 pulling 4 in the front break and 1 or 2 pulling in the back with Demi Vollering. You're wasting 3, if not 4 riders all at the same moment when you could just have 1 pulling in the back going full gas, rotating with other ones. They all wear the field out. You come into the last and final time with 25 kilometers to go. Demi Vollering, if she has good form, she lights everybody up because she's further into the race. Remember, the further you get into the race, everybody's gas tank drops at different speeds. Demi Vollering is one of the best in the world. Lotte Kopecky is too, but it's not the most ideal course for Lotte Kopecky, unless, of course, she's on 100% form. But I don't think anyone out there will argue with me that Lotte Kopecky wasn't on her best form, but she was certainly had the best head at the Road World Championships for the women in 2024 because she got dropped going up the climb, found her way back up to the front group, suffered like crazy, and then you come into the last 1 kilometer to go. Demi Vollering's riding the front from 1K to go. We see the attack from the Australian rider. That's Ruby throwing up an attack just at about 800, 700 meters to go. Demi Vollering pulls her back, stays on the front, hands over a 2nd Road World Championships to Lotte Kopecky. Even in the interviews afterwards, Lotte Kopecky said it was basically nice there of Demi Vollering to cover the attack there from the Australian rider, bring her back and lead her out at the finish of the race. So those are the Tactical Tuesday mistakes when we look at the Women's Road World Championships and Demi Vollering throughout the last 2 seasons. Lost to Vuelta a España, lost to Tour de France. made the race a little bit too easy at last year's Glasgow Road World Championships, and certainly hand-delivered a victory to Lotte Kopecky, riding completely knucklehead tactics from the whole team at the Road World Championships. So Lotte Kopecky's a double Road World Champion at the finish of last weekend. Now, we're talking about the men's. When we go in there, we're going to talk about, of course, Remco Evenepoel and what he did wrong. As we start seeing the attacks from Tadej Pogačar from 100 kilometers out. He's going up the road. I covered it on the butterfly effect for sure, but we'll go a little bit more in depth now. We see Tadej Pogačar going 100 kilometers. Jan Tratnik sits up out of the group there of 16, comes back, picks him up. Within 10 kilometers, Tadej Pogačar had gone from the peloton up to the break, and now he's got Jan Tratnik drilling it. Now, Remco Evenepoel, as I told you in the butterfly effect, he got swarmed when they're coming into the attack there. Coming before the climb, when we're coming in the start-finish line, his Belgium team was lined up all over at the front in good position, then got swarmed and went up that climb in about 40th position. When Tadej Pogačar attacked, I thought this is amazing. This is an amazing opportunity right now for Remco Evenepoel, Mathieu van der Poel to wear out the legs of Tadej Pogačar, and I thought it was a fantastic tactical move there from Remco Evenepoel to let Tadej Pogačar go up the road. Then I realized he was in 40th position. It wasn't a tactical move. He had no choice. He had to let Tadej Pogačar go because he got swarmed and was out of position. But what he did now was the crucial move. He puts his teammates on the front. 6 riders from Belgium riding the front. My man Victor Campenaerts is up there. Quinten Hermans is up there. Max van Gils is in the picture. He's got Thijs Benoot up there in the picture. So with 6 riders, counting Remco Evenepoel on the front of the peloton, and 1 De Plus satellite rider in the front brake. The way the Netherlands wanted to do it, a satellite rider in the front brake, where he got in there, followed the move, but didn't waste energy. Wasn't up there pulling that brake. He was sitting on that brake. So they got the satellite rider up there. That's 7 riders from Belgium. They'll come around with 3 laps to go. We'll see that the Netherlands riders will take over at the very start of the climb because my man Victor Campenaerts blew. Quinten Hermans was blowing at the start of that climb, so that's why Netherlands is on the front. As they get a little bit further up the climb there, things start getting interesting because all of a sudden we're going to see Tim Wellens. He's going to be near the front. So Belgium is still in a good position. But Remco Evenepoel is starting to get nervous. Tadej Pogačar is blowing things up left and right. Up in the breakaway, that was 17 riders, but now it's down to 2 because it's Tadej Pogačar and Sivakov from France. Sivakov from France is going to do some knucklehead maneuvers as he starts working with Tadej Pogačar. You never pull with the #1 ranked rider in the world named Tadej Pogačar, especially when, honestly, he hasn't spent much time on the front yet, and Tadej Pogačar is going to be able to drop anyone, certainly Sivakov, if he starts going pull for pull with Tadej Pogačar. Well, he lasts 1 more lap and blows up, but before that happens, Remco Evenepoel gets nervous. We'll see De Plus is starting to come back. As De Plus is coming back, Remco Evenepoel's Tim Wellens is on the front, his teammate. As Tim Wellens looks back, he moves off to the right. We see De Plus coming in the picture as he's getting caught. We see Remco Evenepoel wave and Tim Wellens to get back on the front. This is when he's starting to panic. As that's happening, we see the USA rider there. That's Nielsen Pallas throwing in attack. De Plus is going to hop on the front there as he's just getting caught. Probably do 200, 300, 400 meters at the front before he blows. I was quite surprised. I thought De Plus would do a little bit more work at the front because he was that satellite rider in the break and because he wasn't pulling the brake like Team Netherlands women's team was. I thought he'd pull a little bit longer, but he's done as he pulls back USA. And then we're going to see Tim Wellens riding the front. Tim Wellens starts riding the front. Then after Tim Wellens is done, we see the next rider getting on the front for Belgium, and that rider is Max van Gils. As Max van Gils pulling, we know now after the race that Remco Evenepoel, and of course at that moment if you're watching live and you know what you're watching, you know that Max van Gils is going 100%, which means Remco Evenepoel is going to try to go across the gap to Tadej Pogačar and Sivakov, but that gap's up to 50 seconds now. Remco Evenepoel's making a catastrophic mistake at this moment. If you see the break from the, if you see the peloton from the front with Max van Gils going full gas, and you see the peloton in 3 positions, now I'm going to take you to the back of that third split there in the peloton, and who do we see back there? That's Thijs Benoot getting dropped, and just in front of Thijs Benoot, 2 spots, that's Sam Oomen from Team Netherlands. Why am I bringing up Netherlands? Netherlands have Mathieu van der Poel in the race, and Mathieu van der Poel has one Bach Mollema up in this front group with him too. So that's 3 riders in these 3 groups here. If Max van Gils had slowed down, if Remco Evenepoel had told Max van Gils not to speed up in the first place, those groups would still be back together, which means
Belgium would have Thijs Benoot, Netherlands would have Sam Omen. They would be able to start working on the front. I got to believe that De Plus would still be in that front group too. They drive one more lap while Tadej Pogačar and Sivakov hasn't quite started rotating through right away because Tadej Pogačar was drilling it so hard that the French rider needed a little bit more time to recover, but he will start driving through later. That means Tadej Pogačar is the sole rider on the front in that two-man break right now at about a 50-second gap. So if you bring up Sam Omen to the front, you bring up Thijs Benoot, who doesn't get dropped from the speed of Max van Gils, you have De Plus in this front group. You have Tim Wellens to be able to ride in this front group. You're talking about 3-4 riders on the front right now. And that's assuming that no other teams get on the front. That's assuming that Team USA don't decide to put a rider on the front. That's assuming that the Spanish team decide not to put a rider on the front. Because remember, that 17-rider group is down to 2 riders now. So the only 2 guys represented up there is France, and the other rider up there is Tadej Pogačar. And in my professional opinion, France should have never been pulling, and they have riders in the back there because they have David Gaudu that's in that front group too. So if France Sivakov's not pulling, there's tons of teams back there that may help out Remco Evenepoel. I wouldn't want to help out Remco Evenepoel unless I'm Team Netherlands, but the other riders have options to take pulls, and we have seen him take pulls many times. So if you're Remco Evenepoel, you could gamble that maybe one other team hops on the front, but for sure Sam Omen, Thijs Benoot, Tim Wellens, and De Plus hop on the front. That's 4 riders there, and still leaves you one Max van Gils, and still leaves you one Bach Mollema with it when you come back around to start the climb, to drill it going up the climb with 3 laps to go, just under, we'll call it about 60, 55 kilometers to go. Instead, Remco panicked, blew everything up, tried to go across the gap, split it, dropped all his teammates, left there isolated with 40 guys, and they just kept attacking them left and right. And the next knucklehead move came from Mathieu van der Poel and Remco Evenepoel. Those 2 guys needed to get together when that group was 40 riders and say, hey, we need to calm this down. We need to calm the roll. It didn't work. We're not bringing back time on Tadej Pogačar. We calm it. Bach Mollema rides the front. Maybe Max van Gils, maybe one of the other riders from Belgium find a way to get to the front. But hopefully Max van Gils is back there, gets to the front with Bach Mollema, and you have 2 riders to ride the lap to fix the mistake that Remco Evenepoel made. But Mathieu van der Poel attacking and counterattacking left and right, and Remco Evenepoel attacking left and right didn't help the scenario in any way or form, because nobody should be working even pulls anyways. Slight pulls maybe with Mathieu van der Poel and Remco Evenepoel, but you don't want to be working even, that's for sure. So Mathieu van der Poel and Remco Evenepoel needed to work together, slow the roll a little bit, bring back a couple teammates like Bach Mollema, who is still in that group, and hopefully Max van Gils. And then hopefully Tadej Pogačar starts getting a little bit tired. Hopefully the French team, at some point in time, the car goes up there to Sivakov and says, what are you doing? Are you a knucklehead? You're pulling with Tadej Pogačar. Well, he gets dropped with 2 laps to go. We know the scenario. Tadej Pogačar holds off the whole peloton and wins the Road World Championships to get himself that rainbow band. But it's Tactician Tuesday on a Wednesday. So when you break down the film, Tadej Pogačar should have never won the Men's Road World Championships attacking from 100 kilometers out. We all know he was our big-time favorite to win the Road World Championships. But attacking from 100 kilometers out, as Tadej Pogačar said himself, well, he's a knucklehead. He used different words than me, but it's a family channel. Anyways, hope you guys appreciate Tactician Tuesday here up on Beyond the Coverage. Like and subscribe, and maybe I'll be here for Tuesday next time. See you on the next edition real soon.